HTS. Make sure to get great information or ask your important questions at donandgino.com. Now, back to your friends, Don and Gino.
How about that? You have friends on the air every Thursday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. How about that? You use personal finance wellness. How many of your friends do that? At least with real experts. Everybody claims to be an expert, but we are surrounded by them. We only bring the best of the best on the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. Every Thursday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. You can also check us out by going to donandgino.com. Click on the Listen Chat Live. You can enter our Vault Media studio. It's live. 3 cameras on our great guests. Of course, today we have Gerald L. Marcus and Matt Crayon with the Law Office of Gerald L. Marcus, personal injury attorney experts. That's right. We only surround ourselves by experts. You can also check out so many more shows by clicking on the YouTube channel. We have 250 shows probably and 400 and something clips with interviews with some of the best, and I'm very pleased to have Gerald L. Marcus himself here sharing what you need to know about how does a personal injury attorney assist me, and what does that mean? What does it cost me? Do I need one, and how do I get one, and all that good stuff. And thank you for being here today, guys.
Thanks for having us.
So far, it looks like we've identified a couple of things. If you've been in an accident, you should at least call for a consultation, right? It sounds like that would be free, right?
It doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah.
It costs you not to do it, I bet.
You can call more than once. And you can talk to more than one person.
And you don't hit the clock?
And
right
there's
away?
No clock. There's no hourly rate. There's nothing is ticking.
This is key.
So it's very important.
That's a myth, because right now they're going to be afraid to call you.
That is true. And we literally do get calls 24/7, even when we close through our answering service, and we get right on with a question, something that it might not even be a new case, but you never know. Because we do get that people that are calling us with a potential new case, they're in a position of stress, something's happened, they're reaching out, they're looking for an attorney or an expert, and they don't know what to do. So at a minimum, we need to calm them down and advise them, even if it's not a case or not something that we would ordinarily handle. So it doesn't cost them anything, that's the point. And people do call back, they're shopping for attorneys or talking to friends or family, and they call back a second or a third or a fourth time, and there's never any pressure. I mean, we are here to help our community and help people that are innocent injured victims, advise them, and then put them on the same level playing field as the insurance industry, so it's a fair process.
Well, an important aspect that you just brought up, because unfortunately, and don't take this wrong, because every industry has got their, even our industry has those people that don't do loans correctly or don't look out for the best interests of their clients. It's just a transaction.
Correct.
Listen to you talk, and I know Matt personally as well. You guys are what's really refreshing from your side as being a personal injury attorney, not, you hear about ambulance chasers and this and that, but your relationship.
I know all the jokes.
Okay, I'm not going to go there.
That's okay.
But what's nice is that I can tell you guys are relationship based, and that's why you're so successful. Have been able to grow your practice to how many offices you have?
Well, we've got one main office and 13 satellite offices all over greater Los Angeles and Ventura County. And we represent people literally all over the entire state, but all over Santa Clarita Valley, Antelope Valley, across the San Fernando Valley, Pasadena, Los Angeles, Ventura, on and on.
Well, what's cool is, you came to our show to share good information, just like your website does a great job of, and which is GeraldMarcusLaw.com?
Correct.
Okay. GeraldMarcusLaw.com. You got to check it out. The site's amazing. If you want to know anything about personal injury and what effects, what opportunities there are, what challenges there are, all that good stuff, you have it. There's videos. They did a heck of a job, by the way. Very good job. So you should check it out. But I love that they can talk to a real person, and you're here sharing that, not just sending somebody out, because obviously you have a plethora of attorneys and team members that are involved with assisting you and your team. You brought Matt here as one of them, because you were bringing that up. We were talking about, when you start a claim, one of the questions will be is, assessing, is this really a valid claim, and do I have validity to my claim, and am I wasting my time? I'm sure you guys help them figure that out right away.
Absolutely. The process ordinarily when somebody calls us is they will either talk to me or one of 3 other attorneys in our office, or Matt. Matt probably gets the majority of those cases, and I'll turn it over to Matt to take you through the process of the questions that he would ask the average person who's calling saying, hey, look, I had an accident, I was hurt, what can I expect? You know, what do you do? What does it cost? One of the main questions, and then I'll turn it over, is a lot of people want to know, if I lose my case, and do I owe you anything? The answer is no.
Yeah, I highlighted that question. I like that one.
And if I lose, or if we lose, or if we don't get a great recovery, do I have to pay any of the costs associated with pursuing the claim? Because that's separate from a contingency fee. There might be filing fees with a court, or getting medical records or police reports. Then it could be a couple few $100, or in trial it could be $50,000 or $100,000. But the short answer is the client has no exposure. If the case literally lost, the client would not owe a nickel. We literally advance all the costs. So it kind of puts the prospective client, the average person, at ease to know, okay, now I don't have to pay anything. I don't have to worry.
Well, I think what that also, what that does is,
go ahead,
we'll
Gino.
figure it out. What that also does is it also gives me some confidence that if you're going to take the risk, the financial risk of putting dollars out of your pocket to represent me, that you feel confident that I truly do have a valid claim, that I am an innocent injured, and that I need proper representation.
Well, that you guys have skin in the game. I mean, that's huge. I mean, I want my attorney, if my attorney's going to shell out some dollars, and it could be substantial, I know that you have my best interest in mind, because we're both in this together.
At a certain point in every, and first question, the first point was, we would tell a client, hey, you don't have a claim, honestly. I've been doing this around 30 years, more or less, so I can tell if it's a compensable claim. If someone got hurt and they're not at fault, or maybe it's a comparative fault case and it's worth fighting for, and I would tell them that. You can never predict the value of a case, but if I'm going to take the case, there's probably about a 98% chance that we will win. We will get a recovery for the client. And that's just
a pretty good
with all the experience.
Return on their investment. I mean, that's a good thing. So if you take the case, you feel very confident in providing the results on their behalf.
Correct. And the other component regarding costs and all that is we know what to spend money on, what to invest in the case, experts or site inspections or accident reconstruction or not, relative to the potential value of a claim. And just simply put, if someone has a sprain or a strain or a contusion and they go to the doctor for a couple of months, the case has a limited value, but we'll get the full value for the client. They're entitled to that. Versus if, God forbid, someone was killed in an accident or they suffered a catastrophic injury, and assuming that the person at fault had adequate insurance enough to cover that loss, then we're going to go all the way, and we might be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. So based on our experience relative to the issues of the case, we know where to spend the money.
I like that. And so you guys are fully invested, and again, I like that you've reiterated over and over, and again, knowing Matt and looking through your site and what you guys, where your, I guess your philosophies are behind it, similar to ours. It's relationship based. You actually build relationships with these clients. Am I right, Matt?
Absolutely. That's one of the things we stress is, when someone calls regarding a possible new case, spend the time and listen.
They don't give you a case number and just, you have to, they give them their name?
Right, yeah. They'll call in and say, hey, I was involved in an accident of some type, and then I'll kind of walk them through the process as to what we need, and explain to them exactly how the process works, and then happy to answer any questions that they have, of course. But throughout that process, you have to be patient a lot of the time and get the right information so that we know whether or not it's a case or not, so that we can give these people the proper advice moving forward. We don't want to tell someone that they don't have a case when they do, or vice versa.
Right.
We want to be very careful of that, because like we said, the cases we do take, we are invested in. And it could be small, it could be big. They're all the same to us, and we try to treat them all the same.
There's one other point that you mentioned in terms of building relationships with the people that call us, whether they retain us or not. A lot of our clients are from 2 years ago, 5 years ago. We do make relationships, and there's no bigger compliment than having somebody call us and saying, you represented my brother 16 years ago, and and you did a good job. Nobody else would take his case. excuse me, nobody else would take his case, and you did, and it was small, but you fought for him, and they come back, they call us, and we love that. We treat them like beyond gold, because
it's a lot of word of mouth. It's a lot of
word of mouth.
Well, what better client to get than one that's
exactly.
referred?
I'd like to become the family attorney. And if it's not a personal injury case, then they need an attorney in another area of the law, then I'm going to refer them to someone, and not just somebody out of the yellow pages or that I don't know, but somebody that I know that I would go to for my family. And I always qualify that with a client. Hey, can you refer me to a criminal defense attorney or a family law attorney or whatever it might be, a bankruptcy attorney? And I'll say, well, if I was in that situation, this is the guy I would go to. I know him. He's a
people
good
that
guy.
are accountable.
The same way you guys would do it.
Yep.
Yeah, we work hard on that. We'll talk a little bit about that, about our America's Professional Resource Group. That's very similar to what you're talking about. All right, so when we come back, we don't want to go away. Trust me. More great information from Gerald L. Marcus and Matt Crayon with the law office of Gerald L. Marcus. Personal injury attorney experts right here on the Don and Gino Show.